So we're going to work on doing a complete comparative market analysis. Walk through the entire process. And we have an address here that we're going to use. And I want I have your participation, right? That's great. So we can choose properties for this. And I'll send that to you so that you can look at that and see. It obviously won't have your information on it, but at least you can.
If your data is higher than mine, use yours.
So of course, we're under searching all properties. Let me go back one step and just show you one thing real quickly. We're on all properties here. We were talking about looking at distressed properties earlier. I just wanted to let you know you can click on market activity. See where it says market activity here? And you can say, I only want to see distressed properties going back last week, last 3 days, and last 3 months. Just to let you know. Okay? Just to let you know that that is there. So if you're looking for that as an option, it's available to you. So let me go back to all properties. And I'm going to put in the subject property, 19 Pleasure Cove, 77381. You don't have to have everything on a property. You can have just a partial address. And if it's not sure, it'll ask you. So here's what we have so far. Gives us an RVM, which means that the property has some sold information, some sold history. And it says 789.30 is what it's giving you on the property. And of course it shows us that it's off market, 5 bedroom, 6 bath, living area, estimated square footage, owner's name, and this is the map over here. Subject property is listed here, showing it in yellow, and it gives you all of these green homes to show what it's using for the comps. If you want to see if it's in a flood zone,
Pretty close to one.
we can go out. You're so funny. Oh my gosh. Go out and select this drop-down menu here, and then click on flood zones. That's funny that I'm not seeing anything. Is it in a flood zone at all?
Backyard, see the lake.
Just the lake. It's like, I don't need no more water. That's enough water. That's right. Okay, so let's go down some more here just to look. Here's your homeowner facts, as we said before. You've got your area here where you can put some adjustments in. Okay, are there any square footage that you want to add to it at all?
No, it's got Christmas lights on.
Christmas lights are on, okay. Any notes that you want to add to it? Room details are here, okay. Location details from the previous listing agent are here. And schools, legal description, tax information. So if you were going to put together a CMA, it's great. You've got some information. As a matter of fact, one of the things about having the pictures too is that if the listing, well, if they had more than one listing, it takes an accumulation of all the pictures in one for you. So you don't have to go looking for all the pictures. It'll give them all. And over here to the right, it shows you how many times it's been listed one time. If there were two, you'd see the comparison, but this will show you all the pictures. Does that make sense? And you'll be able to open that up.
Capture all of them.
It captures all, just pulls them all together for you in one.
Okay, so it shows the backyard without a pool and the backyard with a pool.
Exactly, exactly. Yeah.
No, this isn't.
Okay. So from here, we'll go ahead and create the comp analysis. Right? So to do that, we'll start over here to create our comp analysis for the property. You click this to create the comp analysis. You're going to hit this button. So if you say, okay, now I want to use a comparative market analysis, you click this bubble here. Now there is, and it's just been recently added, one where there's more detail for an appraiser. If you have a realtor that actually is an appraiser, you can add that appraiser, or you, if you want to use that particular type of workflow, you can go ahead and use the sales comparison analysis that is used by appraisers. That's an option. It goes into a lot more detail. It breaks things down. I wouldn't even know where to start to show you. I mean, it's just so much information. Okay? Here is where it shows what the difference is. If I click on this, there's a little video here that talks about it. I really don't want to go through the video now. I think for time, you guys can click on that and it will explain to you the difference. Okay? All right, so what we did is we clicked on comp analysis. It jumped over to that tab, right? And then we decided we're going to use the first one, which is a comparative analysis. And number one says confirm home facts. We're saying, okay, we know everything is fine. So you hit the blue to confirm facts. And then it shows you your public record information, the listing data that it has, and if you have any changes. No changes. We're going to just click on confirm facts and close. So when you select that, we're on to number 2. Number 2 is where we go in to search for comps. So we'll come over here to the right and we'll select find comps. The subject property is at the top of the screen. Come down, and in this area here, it shows single family for the property type. With status will show us active, pending, and sold. Did you want to add any other statuses? The default is set to 6 months back. It shows the property details. Would you like to change these? No. Living area? Yes. Do you want that checkbox?
Oh, that's fine.
It is?
But baths, would you want it to say 5 baths? So you're comparing anything else that has 5 baths?
Beginning with,
Okay, yeah.
starting with 5.
Change it to 4.
Okay.
Because you might leave some out.
Yeah.
Do you want to put a price range in?
I think I'm going to go up from 750 on up. Because it's on the wall.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to show you something else too that's so awesome. What about the million here? Are you taking that off or leaving
Yeah,
it?
that's fine.
Okay. All right. Now, here is what we do with this. Now, so we come up here to the top. Okay. This is where the subject property is, right? You can just hit the search button on this to search, or with these parameters, you can start a polygon search, radius search, or a box search, just like you would if you were in Tempo or Fusion. Is that
Can you
making
use
sense?
one area? Can you use multiple areas?
One area.
Okay.
But you can come over here and do a geography search. Now the geography search could be within the zip code, the neighborhood, the school district, the attendance zone, or the attendance zone. Now, say if we said neighborhood? Watch what happens when I click on neighborhood. It draws the neighborhood.
Okay.
Comparable,
Pardon?
and it's not comparables.
That's not comparables?
I mean, there are no comparables.
Okay, so do we search that area at all or no?
Yeah, go ahead.
Search this area.
There's a bunch of apples and oranges there.
Okay. So it's just showing what's there, right? Exactly.
But wouldn't you
Well,
wanna,
because you get the price range.
but wouldn't you, if you were searching that, wouldn't you wanna search lakefront, waterfront?
Yeah, I would do waterfront, but
Can you do that on there?
It does not give that as an option when we were putting in the search. So if I can modify this, which I'll do, and I'm going to show you something here. Just from the search results, I wanted to see something. The stars next to these is saying that the system used originally when it gave you the actual price, it used these two properties. That's why it says used in RVM. Just so you know why those stars are there. Okay? So what we'll do is we'll go back and we'll modify this. Okay? So you hit modify at the bottom to go back.
no, but it was good exercise because now I know what it means by neighborhood. What we think of neighborhoods are considerably smaller areas
Mm-hmm.
than what's depicted.
What the county says is a
And
neighborhood.
that's Fountain Creek.
That's correct.
And most of us will look at the cove or, you know, an area adjacent to Lake Woodlands,
Mhm,
to
mhm.
waterfronts to compare it to.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But there's no way, like, even if you're searching at Lake Conroe to indicate that it's waterfront,
Well,
or waterfront with a boathouse, or any of that.
no, not here. But you can manually pick the properties you want.
Well, you could do a polygon or whatever.
Correct, correct. So what we'll do then is let's go back and just reset it and start a new. We're just gonna do the search by, you said 750, right?
Mhm.
Okay.
No, fine.
And then we'll, here, we're not gonna find anything, are we?
No.
Okay.
When you say use geography, is that when you get your drawing map?
No, no, it's just the default.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, if we said within the neighborhood, we could, if you wanted to, we can now do a polygon. If you wanted to polygon search, you could, you could use a polygon,
Yeah,
and then the polygon, just like you would if you were in
yeah. Usually, I think.
Fusion, you go around and,
Right.
select it, and then you come back to that circle, and it says search that area. That make sense?
Yeah.
Let me ask you a question in regards to tempo.
Yes, sir.
Like, because I see all the time where agents make a lot of mistakes when they're putting listings in.
Mm-hmm.
And I love it. I always pull by zip code because I know zip code is automatically auto-populated, right? So I know they can't screw that up.
Correct.
Okay, but like high schools, I mean, that's a real mess up out here. It could be the Woodlands or Woodlands High School or, everybody has different ones. You can't pull by that. But in Key Map, which I'm sure is where you're getting this information, why doesn't that auto-populate? Because
I'll
that
tell
is
you why.
another confusion.
I'll tell you why, which is really, I was dumbfounded. Do you know that KeyMap is not a norm throughout the United States?
Right.
That's
It's a
why.
Houston deal.
That's why.
Okay, but with that said, I mean, I used to go back to the old key map page, just look at it. But I guess what I'm saying to that too is that most of it is on the tax roll.
Mm-hmm.
How accurate is that? I mean, I don't know. I don't go back and check that. I mean, do y'all know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I can tell you what's accurate, that has been incorporated, that didn't exist before, is the legal description of the property. So when you have a legal subdivision, the agent doesn't have a choice to actually describe It actually grabs it from the Harris County.
I
You
thought
can
that
search
too.
by legal description on a property.
Okay, well, I thought that too until I just put a listing in Creekside Park West. And there is no legal description for Creekside Park West.
For the
You
subdivision.
can pull it up,
Oh, because
14
it's a new
lots.
subdivision?
There's no Creekside Park West, there's no Creekside Park. There's a, so that is a new area, which everybody thinks is a different zip code than what it is, and it's not. It's a new area of the Woodlands.
Oh, so it's a new area.
I mean, new, 3 years old.
Okay,
That's
got
not real
you.
new to me.
Okay, got you.
know what I'm saying?
Okay,
I mean,
yes.
There's resales in there, so you can't get an accurate description of all that. And I guess what I'm getting at is that why doesn't some of those things automatically download to where as agents, we can't make a mistake there? But I guess because of the key map, but key map would affect Houston, so why wouldn't that automatically go in there?
Why would key map not go in there?
In HAR.
Because it,
In HAR?
We understand that it's not national.
Well, KeyMap is actually inputted by the agent.
that's correct.
That's what I'm saying.
It's a
That's one of the
field,
mistakes
it's a
ours.
field,
Why
but
is
a,
that
but
on?
a field that is, you have to add that field, when you're adding a listing in MLS.
And again, all that information.
They will
that
put
feeds into that is what makes
999Z
this
when they
accurate.
don't know if it's right. They put 999Z in there, and that, and that's a violation in itself.
I guess what I'm getting at is that you pull the information from that to make this accurate. So if that's inaccurate, then this is not accurate. You know what I'm saying? I'm
Well,
just try-
Well, this is accurate based on tax records,
Okay.
but tax records, Stewart, if you look at this Harris County tax records, Stewart title tax records, sometimes the feed's different, even there.
Right.
So, it's hard for me to answer the question, except to tell you
And
that
I'm
key
off on
map
another
is,
subject.
no, it's okay, it's
I
okay.
apologize.
It's okay. Key maps are variables, unfortunately. That is a variable. It's a constant here at HAR, but it's not anywhere else. I was shocked. I thought it was the norm. I didn't know.
Right.
I didn't know it was a privately owned company. It's like,
And
what?
Dallas,
Are you kidding?
they have a different deal.
Really?
It's not-
That hurts my feelings. I was like, what? I didn't know that was possible, So that's why it's a variable, If they were to try to pull all the variables from all our different states, it would be crazy to try to put all that in a computer database. So basically, what do we want to do here with our comps? Since we only have these two properties, are we going to be using how many of these are we going to use to,
You only have two comparable.
okay, so let's go ahead and run this again to make sure we have those two. So we're going to do search by neighborhood. But I'm only getting one now.
See?
Oh, I know what it was. I didn't change the bedrooms, right? Was it?
Yes, bedroom.
Bathrooms. 4. There we go. And that's it. That's all we have, right? So here's what happens at this point. You click on you can either click here to add them over to the comps, or you can go in, let's say you had a lot of properties to choose from, you would select the actual properties by clicking on them like this. And then you can say use this comp, because you might want to look at more details on that property. And when you click on use this comp, it makes it black to show that you've selected it. So you have that option also to do. And as you select the properties, it puts in the range based on the comps. puts in the range based on the comps. Now I'm going to click on Update Valuation and close. And now it gives you this number. And then you're going to go ahead and hit your edit button, your edit link, rather. I'm going to go ahead and click on the edit link so that there's a 0 here. And then we'll put in our range as to what we'd like on the range. So what range would we put in?
Right.
See, so you see, this is where it says the property, that is the suggested listing price,
Right.
but then it gives you a range here.
Right.
So you can manually type in the range.
So is that something we have to put in?
Yes.
Okay, so I would say 900 to, on the high end, 939.
And then just hit save. And that shows it there. You can always go back and hit the edit if you want to. You can always go back and adjust your comps.
Okay.
Now remember how we adjust the comps earlier when we used the slide and we used the drop down menu and changed? That's what adjusting comps are. But let me show you some other things about adjusting comps. Let's say we did not want these numbers. Let's say we wanted to adjust our comps by moving these houses around, because when you present the presentation, you would rather talk about this property before this property. Well, you can just take this and say, I want this to be number 1, right? Now here's the other thing that's really cool is this is telling you when these properties were sold, but it's also, with this being the subject property, you're saying, well, with this home here, I know for sure that they've added some amenities to this house, and it has a little bit more value than yours, so I want to, it's a little bit better. So you can have that sliding scale. You can use that sliding scale. So it puts this one down. Is that making sense? And then also, you can come back and revisit your comps by looking at where they are, just by hovering your mouse over these maps, and it shows where the properties are in comparison to the comp.
So two's not on the water.
Right.
Yeah. Isn't that neat?
Fire perspective.
So you've got all that, and you can make these larger photos if you want them to be larger or smaller. You can change those. And there's all your information that you're going to use. Once you've done that, it shows the adjustment at the bottom and you update valuation. Making sense so far? We've gone through selecting to create the CMA by hitting the comparative market analysis and going from number 1, 2, 3, and 4. So we've been going down. But then once we get to this area, what do? We get stuck, and there is a reason for that. They have not added a particular button at the bottom of the page, so I want to just bring that to your attention. And I'd like all of you to use the log-a-bug button to try to get them to add this button to the bottom of the page. That makes you want to normally keep going in that direction. You have to come all the way up to the top and select Get a Report at this time. This button should also, in my opinion, be down here. So I would like to ask you
I'm surprised they haven't changed that by now, because I've been
You've heard me telling you
months doing this class and it's still
it's not there yet.
right.
One little button, just
Yeah.
this one right here. So I'd like to ask all of you to use the log-a-bug and ask them to move. Please add the Get a Report button down here as a link, so that you have that natural progression going through the process. So again, once you've gotten down to number 4 and you feel stuck, just come all the way up to the top and select Get a Report. So click on Get a Report. You're going to end up here. This is where your existing reports are. The ones that are in blue are completed. The ones that are in process of being converted into PDF are pending. And the ones that didn't work would be red. So here it's showing you that that particular address can be created as a seller's report by clicking on Seller's Report.
Can you change the address as well?
What you do when you hit Change Address here, you can change, yes, you can change it. So like if it was, you know,
We're particular about Spring and the Woodlands, so we put them.
so you'd put the Woodlands here. And then it saves it into, oh, why is it doing that? Oh, see, it's bringing up tax. I don't want any of those. Just close that. It's trying to match it.
Okay. So it doesn't let you modify.
Not the address. It might allow you to add the person's name.
Typically, picking up zip code, postal service address.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Can you take out the zip code and just say the Woodlands, Texas?
No.
It won't pull it up that way.
Nobody let me add like a Smith to it. So seller's report. The seller's report, when I hit more details, this is everything you get. And as I was showing you before, when you hover your mouse to the right, it will give you an example of what it looks like.
It's a lot of information.
So you decide what you want just by taking the checkbox away from any one of these.
Approximately how many pages are we talking about if you did a full report?
From what I understand, it's like 80, depending on how many properties you pull in, and an average. It really does depend, you know, because if you have a lot of properties, then here's why it depends. Here's why it depends. If you say market activity active listings, then what are you going to get for that? You're going to get all of the market activities and one for the home facts. You need to put your cursor over this so you can see what this looks like. Look at this. That's every property. So if you don't want that, you don't want your seller to go cross-eyed, then take that off. So it's not a part of the report. Because that's a lot of information. Maybe all you want is just side by side, but not the home facts, which is every single one of those comps.
That's right. Why would anybody want to come to this particular medium to do a CMA when you can get all the apartment data, which allows you to edit areas and what have you within the MLS, whether you're using Fusion or Tempo? I'm just asking.
Okay.
What's the advantage?
Well, I thought just, okay, so you can you can manipulate how the data looks on your presentation. You can say, okay, I want number 5 to be number 2. I can adjust with sliding any one of those listings. I can move them around.
Home improvement.
I can do home improvements on any of the listings, right? I can search by neighborhood if I want to do my comps. I can do, of course, you can do your map search if you want to. So there are many other, there's a lot of different options that you have that when you're doing a CMA in MLS, you don't have any choices. It's just like you can choose your comps and it makes the presentation. You pretty much just go to the end and it makes it. You don't even have to go through anything. You can just go to the end. You can skip everything and just go to the end because there is nothing else you can do. But with this, you have some choices that you can make. You can actually review your properties toward the end of the presentation and see, just like I was showing you, hover over them and see in comparison to the subject property where they are. You know, you have all of those things as options. And all the historic information, all the reviewing of all the data is so different. You don't have many places to go to get your information to be able to do a CMA. You're not having to go to this website and that website. You know, there are lots of different resources.
I find the supporting documentation very valuable.
Yeah.
But the process of doing a CMA itself, I
Mhm.
find it a lot faster doing, maybe it's just because I'm more familiar with it.
Well, and yeah, I mean, I get that. I mean, it seems like it's a more laborious process doing it this way because you've never done it like this before. Plus, I'm doing it slower. You know, I'm going through a lot more detail with you. So once you do it, you might find that it's not that bad, you know? And you're not going to be choosing everything on here. And another reason that it's great too is by the time I'm done with it, you have the option to put it on any device. You know, the flexibility to be able to get to it is so easy because you can get to it anywhere. Now, not to say that it's not awesome to be able to do a tempo quick CMA. I mean, that HAR app is great, but you don't have as much flexibility with it. It's going to give you what it's going to give you when it's doing a comp. Have you ever done the comps on the tempo on the HAR CMA app? It is great. If you're out and you need to do a quick CMA, you can do a quick CMA right there using the GPS. It'll pull properties in for you. So yeah, you know, all of these are in here. And you would take off what you don't want to use. And I'm going to leave all these just so that you can see them, okay?
Just don't send them to my printer.
They won't go to your printer, no. Now, if you have any RE/MAX reports that you always add to your presentations, I would suggest you don't add page numbers unless it's going to the end, because if you add the page numbers and you insert them, then it's going to put everything out of order. Down here at the bottom is where you can add in the recipient's name or just type in a message if you want to include it, or just go ahead and email it. You can also just display it inside your report, right? So I'm going to email it to you, okay? What's your email address?
We're down woodlandsbroker@gmail.com.
Okay, then you agree to the terms and then you hit get report. And what'll happen is on the reports tab, there'll be this little orange button or orange indicator and it'll let me know that it's done. So once it's done, it'll let me know it's generated or completed. While that's going, let me show you how to do a neighborhood report. Let's say you're going out to do an open house. Okay. Right down here, you see we're on all properties. Over here, you go to neighborhoods. So you click on neighborhoods. You'll notice when I'm on all properties, I can even do value range, right? But if I click on neighborhoods, it changes now. So on neighborhoods, it says type exact, I can do within or nearby. So why don't you give me a neighborhood?
Sterling Ridge.
Sterling Ridge. And you notice you see I'm getting Michigan, Alaska, Colorado.
Second one.
There you go. Click on it.
That one has the woodlands, I don't understand.
Hmm?
That one has the woodlands as opposed to spring.
Hmm.
That is interesting.
I'm going to search on that.
I wonder if the houses that have spring on them come out, because there are a lot of agents that keep spring in there.
Well, here we go. It's showing you here in Sterling Ridge, where Sterling Ridge is. So if I pop that open, it's showing you where Sterling Ridge is.
And going back on that, it shows that the prices were down -8%.
Close that out. Over the last 12 months.
Wow.
I don't know how accurate that is. Maybe 28% on the top side.
Now, remember, I don't know. I don't know what to, I don't know.
Because we're up 11% for the year.
Okay, so this is showing Sterling Ridge versus the Woodlands, Montgomery County, and Texas here. So,
Went back to what Dean just said.
uh-huh.
I wonder if a portion of the data shows, extrapolates the spring, city as opposed to the Woodlands, and does not include it in all the data. In other words,
So I always like to go by zip code, because that way you can't screw up zip codes.
Now, if we search by Sterling Ridge, that would be a one way for you guys to know, wouldn't it?
right.
So we could do that after just to see. Okay?
What, zip code?
Can you go back to zip code and just search for the zip code instead of Sterling Ridge?
The problem with that, you're gonna get Alden Bridge too.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, I
What
did.
if you just changed the Woodlands to Spring? Would that change the numbers? Oh, it didn't come up,
It
that's right.
didn't come up.
Mm-mm. Not if I typed in the neighborhood.
So where are they getting that? That's the question.
From the legal description.
So right here, about this data,
If they get it from the legal description, then that would be right. It would have to be.
it's coming from Lender Processing Services. And it's updated monthly.
We don't know what that is.
What does it say over 2 years?
You want to know just Woodlands alone?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. One year,